Yeah. This is where you live for, boy. Not that.
And so that's where you see it, man. Well, we can just go ahead and go into Gad.
Yeah. Go into Gad.
This is Genesis 49 and 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last.
Now, when you go into this history of the northern tribes, of the so-called natives, the last people
to be
conquered was the North American Indians. Where you brothers at, bro?
Hey,
when you go into the so-called Mexicans, you go into the Encomienda, you go into Hernan Cortez, and all these different people, these conquistadors that came through, they took down Issachar immediately.
Yeah, they couldn't take Gad down.
By about 1512, they was out of there, bro.
Right.
They was already building up Mexico City, which Mexico City used to be Tenecalan or something like that. It was like the center of the so-called Mexican civilization of the Aztecs. And Esau came and tore it down, destroyed the whole city, and turned it into Mexico City, as it is today.
And this is a precept to go into what the brother was talking about when talking about Gad being the last to be cast down. This is 1 Chronicles 12 and 8. And the Gadites, there separated themselves unto David into the whole to the wilderness men of might and men of war fit for battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions and were as swift as the roes upon the mountain. So this is giving you an idea of how these Gadites operated, what kind of abilities these brothers had, which is why the so-called white man had to go and entreat Judah for his help, and then also entreat Benjamin for his help to help take down the Gadites, man. Because the Gadites were fierce warriors, man. These brothers was running through the wilderness like deer, man.
Yeah.
These dudes were fast. They were masters in guerrilla tactics, man.
Well, you know what the thing about it, the American military bases many of their military tactics on their wars with Gad.
Yeah. Right.
Even a lot of their missiles, their helicopters are named after Gadites. You got the Tomahawk missile, the Apache helicopter.
They know
the camouflage came from them.
Yeah.
Gad was the one that had knew how to camouflage in their environment.
That's right.
When they went out to war, they had the war paint.
Man.
And Esau took that and said, "Wow, we got to use this." Because when Esau took over, they had bright blue and red uniforms.
Yeah.
Sticking out like a sore thumb.
Sticking out like a sore thumb. They was getting shot down from trees. They can't even see them.
Hey, boy.
Gad in the tree with
just picking them off
with green apparel or like apparel, just you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Shooting them down. Ooh. And Esau used those tactics to basically make his military. That's why America has the strongest military, because they took information from their battles with the North American Indians, who are the tribe of Gad. Okay? Yep. And if you know anything about Gad, before they got this bad diet and all that stuff, they were known to be great athletes.
Yeah.
You go into a guy named Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe was considered the best athlete in the early part of the 20th century. Jim Thorpe was a so-called North American Indian, and he excelled at all sports. He was the fastest man in America. He was one of the fastest men in the world. He basically played football, was all football, all American, played baseball. He dominated everything.
Man.
And he's a supreme athlete. This is a guy that is chronicled. When you go into the top athletes in the history of the world, on ESPN did like a special back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Talking about naming the top athletes at all time. Of course, Michael Jordan was number one, right?
Right.
But Jim Thorpe, if I'm not mistaken, was like in the top 5.
Man.
You know?
Bruh, y'all can't exclude Gad out of this piece, man. The North American Indians.
Yeah, then they get confounded because of how they look.
Man, yeah.
Which that shows you a lot of you guys that are talking, y'all don't study.
Yeah.
You don't study.
Because they'll look at that hair texture and say, well, man, look, Jake don't have stringy hair like that. That's Edomite. So now you cast.
No, that's Asian.
That's Asian.
But none of them will. But I ain't never heard one of them say that those were Moabites. So.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
They just won't tell you that they're not Israel. But then you guys don't even look at a map. If you tell you guys, hey, look at a map, bro. If you look at where Reuben and Gad stayed, they lived by Ammon and Moab.
Right.
Yep, that's right.
You believe Ammon and Moab is Ammon and Moab, but then you won't believe that Gad and Reuben is Gad and Reuben. And then you go into the fact that for 500 years, Gad and Reuben, before the Syrian captivity came, they were neighbors with these people. What do you think happened? We were at war continually for 500 years from the time we got to the land with our enemies that surrounded us.
Right.
What do you know about the law of the war concubine? You could get one man, all it takes is one is for a man to get with one more by get out of there, bro. Your kids ain't even gonna look like you.
Yeah, that's right.
Your daughter gonna come with straight hair looking like straight Vietnamese, man.
And you're looking at all the aspects of Gad, man, the spiritual aspects, and according to the scriptures, man, these dudes were good with the bow and arrow. And you still see that even Esau done brought that out in the television, man.
Yeah.
How Gad was, used the bow and arrow while they were shooting at him, man.
They knew they could do that on horse.
They could do it on horse, man. And that wasn't an easy thing to do, man. While you on a horse and you shooting arrows and pecking these dudes were accurate, man.
Yeah.
These guys were accurate. They wasn't just shooting bow and arrows, they just shooting
Why
all
did it take so long for Esau to take him down? First of all, a lot of you jakes that are coming up against them, do you know about the history of the U.S. Cavalry? Do you know about Andrew Jackson, the guy on your $5 bill?
Right.
Do you know about the history about the cavalry, Andrew Jackson, how they had the commission to have these people, actual army separate that was going to go and fight the North American Indians. And they didn't even win until the Battle of Wounded Knee. The Battle of Wounded Knee was the last battle. That was well after even the Civil War. So you're talking about from about, what, 1600s to about late 1800s.
Right.
It took them to actually completely conquer the entire tribe. Why does it say, now go back into the precept for that, the troops shall overcome?
Yeah, that's Genesis 49, let's see.
They got most of their help from that Gatling gun.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have that Gatling gun here. They probably would have never took Gad down.
Exactly. They needed that automatic weapon to eventually take them down.
Because their guns was just like one bullet at a time. They had
and they could shoot arrows a lot quicker than they could shoot the muskets.
That's right. This is Genesis 49 and 19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome in the last. And who is that troop, man? You got to ask yourself that question. Who is that troop? And see, and that's when you got to go into your history, man, to see what these prophecies are talking about, man.
Yeah.
Because we have the answers today.
Yeah.
But like we said before, it's all about faith. It's all about faith. If you don't have faith, you ain't gonna see it.
Yeah. And see, what these guys take out of context, because they don't want to believe, what they'll say is, well, how do you know that they're all this? How do you know? Well, bring the difference. What's the difference between Issachar, Gad, and Reuben?
Right.
When they've been scattered amongst the scattered.
Right.
You guys don't even, a lot of guys, because y'all can't get this, we can't even break down to you the other stuff.
Right.
Because you can't even get the basic part.
And Issachar is one of the easiest ones to break down of the tribes, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Everybody know the so-called Mexican is the hardest worker on this planet. I was on the other side of the world and people were talking about Issachar, man.
Yeah.
So that lets you know these people are known throughout the world for being the hardest workers on the planet,
But if you ask these people, can you break, what's the name of Issachar? These same scoffers, they will not be able to tell you that.
Right.
A lot of them.
Yeah.
Because now you've turned from now being a doubter or a debater, someone that someone can basically try and reason with, and try and let's come to a conclusion. Now you're turn into a scoffer.
Right.
That's a big difference, because people try to label us scoffers.
Right.
No, we up for debate. You guys is carnal. You got your men driving around trying to find out where we're at.
Right.
You know? You got your men trying to drive around, find out where we're teaching at. But we're scoffers.
Right.
Every week.
Every week, dude looking for us.
Yeah, so man, this thing shouldn't be, well, hey,
y'all don't want to debate that cause, because you know with the scriptures y'all gonna lose, because y'all are in falsehood. You know that we're breaking down strongholds, man, through the spirit of Yahweh and His name and His Son Yahweh Shai, man. Okay.
Yep. I mean, these tribes are. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like we say, man. You just have to have faith in this thing, man.
Yeah.
You just have to have faith, man. You gotta look at Issachar, man. You everybody knows according to history. This is just in Esau's secular history that they created those clocks, those timepieces, man.
Yeah.
You know, you got in the scriptures, in the Chronicles, where it says he was a master of those times, man.
Yeah.
So I don't know what else, man. We read the scriptures. Everything we read, man, we're basing it off of faith.
And Reuben. Now, what these guys don't want us to do, right? Go ahead and read Reuben real quick.
Yeah, Reuben it says, Reuben, thou art my firstborn, my might, and the beginning of my strength, the excellency of dignity, and the excellency of power. Unstable as water, thou shalt not excel, because thou wentest up to thy father's bed, then defilest thou it. He went up to my couch. So that's Reuben right there.
Yeah. That's Reuben and the excellency of thy soul. Because when you go into the, first of all, one, these guys will come with their own books, right?
Right.
Esau's Bible dictionaries and everything to say that the northern tribes didn't come to America, right?
Right.
But then when we bring out when we want to bring out Ronald Sanders and Lost Tribes of Promised Land,
Right.
with the chronicle of the Seminole Indians calling themselves the tribe of Reuben,
Right.
they say that we shouldn't use it.
Yeah,
See the hypocrisy in that?
Man, that's a dagger right there too, bro.
And then when you go further in, they were the only tribe that was not conquered in war.
Yep.
They did not sign no treaty with the U.S. government.
Yep. They didn't sign the treaty, man. All the rest of them did, man.
Yeah.
All the rest of them did.
And then to take it even further, after they were pushed out, after a lot of them were pushed out of Florida, which some of them were able to remain, they were scattered amongst the other tribes. Amongst Judah that was in captivity, amongst Gad.
Yep. Because you got to look
pushed out to Oklahoma and the Trail of Tears and things like that.
Yeah, that's right.
So there's levels to this thing. We're not saying that everybody that's on the reservation is Gad.
Right, that's right.
There's so much stuff. We got Edomites on the reservation. We'll admit that. You got $2 the Dawes rolls.
Yeah, you got the $5 Indian, man.
$5 Indian, the Dawes rolls.
Yeah, Dawes rolls, man. They came up and these guys basically did deals with Esau. Coming straight, Esau with Esau.
Yeah. Coming
up there saying that they Indians. Esau come back and say, man,
you ain't wanted land. Because what Esau did to Gad, and this is the reason why a lot of you Jakes have seen a lot of, when I was going on the internet, I've seen a lot of like Jakes from the Southern Kingdom, which y'all admit there are. Okay, so I can say that.
Yeah.
Saying that they don't have no sympathy for the North American Indians because they had us in slavery. Well, these guys don't understand when Esau came with the fives. First of all, they were decimating the North American Indians. One, the North American Indians had no hatred towards you.
Right.
Go into the history of the North American Indians, they were automatically allied and took care of the Southern Kingdom.
That's right.
What Esau did was he wanted to break that apart. So Esau started decimating them, was taking their lands, and then said, listen, we're going to sign a treaty with us. Y'all going to be the 5 civilized tribes. But y'all got to own and enslave your own brothers to get this land. And within that, you had Edomites that made themselves chiefs in the Dawes rolls so they can get land and benefits from that treaty.
Man, is that not the same thing that they did on the other side, man? They set up warrant chiefs over certain individuals, man, and caused these divisions, and it's the same thing. Esau don't stop, man. He's using the same.
He always uses divisionary tactics. And you Jakes just run with it as if the northern tribes had ill will towards us.
Right.
First of all, when you go, so that's why it shows you a lot of you guys don't study, man. See, we don't want to be showing ourselves to be people that know. But because we have knowledge and because you're talking, we got to correct you. Go and look up the Maroons. Anytime you go through Latin America, the Caribbean, when Jake ran away from plantations and settled amongst the natives, which are the Northern Kingdom, they took care of them.
Right. That's right. That's right.
This is known throughout history. Look up the Maroons, man.
Yep.
Those people never were not about mistreating the tribes, man, the Southern Kingdom. That's why when Judah, which you'll believe is Judah, because I'm going to say that, fled from slavery into the South and went down to Florida with the Seminole Indians, they linked up with them. Let them marry their daughters.
Exactly, man. You can easily look that up on the internet, man.
Yeah, man, this is stuff you learned in high school, bro.
Yeah.
Even Esau taught at least that.
Yeah. That's true.
Come on, man. You guys, man.
Yeah, man. Hey, man, Google is a powerful tool.
It's almost stupid, bro.
You gotta look at that.
A lot of you guys, y'all would get into a debate with brothers that know, and you would be completely confounded. You just think from where you're at and the people that are with you that y'all got this what's it called understanding amongst yourselves, when really you're just basically throwing away the baby with the bathwater, because now you are putting yourself in a position where you would not push the gospel to anybody that don't got woolly hair, man.
Right.
You guys is doing paper bag tests like it's freaking school days or something.
And you be casting away your own brothers,
right?
And that's why you got to graduate from the chart spiritually.
Yeah.
Meaning that the understanding of the chart has to then be expanded
Right.
the fact that it's bigger than the right side of the chart.
Because see, the chart is a good attention grabber.
Yeah.
That's
go
what
to Genesis, go to Ezekiel.
Yeah, it's a good attention grabber, man. You have to utilize that chart to give Jake an idea, and then, you know, like the brother said, you start to kind of graduate from that.
Yeah.
And the chart do just exactly what it said in the scriptures. You know, the first question people walk up when they ask, what does that mean?
What does that mean? What does that mean on it? So it's like, shoot, what is that now?
Yeah, Ezekiel 37. Step to the south. Because when you go into Ezekiel the 37 chapter, it goes into the valley of the dry bones. And the brother brought up a good point. Back then, they knew who they were.
Yeah.
Primarily, you had people that knew they were Asher, that were in Israel. Now, of course, you had other people that were scattered that lost their identity because they rejected it during the Greek Empire. Now, that's the reason why when you get into the different letters, Paul doesn't emphasize tribehood. He does say himself when he writes certain letters that I'm of the tribe of Benjamin. But amongst the Gentiles, the ones that didn't know that were away, he emphasized them believing on Yahweh Shah.
Right.
So we don't emphasize, our gospel is not based on whether or not a brother believes or knows that he is a certain tribe. As long as he believes that he's Yahweh Shah's, that's key.
Yep. Because all the rest of that stuff is going to be panned out in the kingdom, man.
Exactly. Now, for someone to now teach, that's part of the leaven of your doctrine. If you're teaching that the northern tribes did not come over here, then now you cannot break down so many other things. You can't. Now, when you go into the curses in Deuteronomy 28 chapter, there's a curse that actually deals with the smallpox. You can't break that down now. Right. Because Judah didn't get the smallpox.
Only the northern tribe.
The northern tribes got the smallpox, but now you can't break that down. Now, when you go into the curses, it says that the lands, your cattle, and your lands will be taken. Now, Judah was brought into slavery. They didn't have no lands over here. Now, y'all use the Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, and just go down to the last verse to break down that, and that's it. But when y'all go into the other curses, y'all don't want to break that down. Because you know that those curses don't fit the people that were brought over here. It fits the tribes that were already over here. And you don't want to do that, because you will be caught in a conundrum. You're not going to break down the smallpox prophecy. Which I did a lesson on that. According to the curses. That was a